Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So wanted to update my video from yesterday on how to farm the swords efficiently, one or two corrections and one or two observations after running the two void vessels on normal and hard difficulty a bunch of times, like 20-25 times each. So basically the conclusion I have is the normal difficulty void vessel is only really good for the ultrafine particle alloy, which is the material you need to build out the shadow sword. So this here, each of the three blueprints require this. The actual blueprint of the sword doesn't. And the blueprints are very unlikely to drop on the normal difficulty. So if you see the void vessel here on the normal difficulty, you get the box just for the shadow. Okay, and over here we have a, let's say, 10% chance for the blueprint, but the two items at the end, the resource box and the gold, they have a combined 75% chance of dropping, so you are rarely going to see any of the blueprints. However, on the hard difficulty, it's a little better, and in my experience, I've been getting the blueprints mostly from the hard. Over here, you have a combined 60%, over there is a combined 75%, so you are a little more likely to get the blueprints if you run the hard difficulty. So the strategy that I have used here is I wanted to get at least one copy of the shadow done. So I ran this a bunch of times until I had 300 of these ultrafine materials. You can, switch around and play the hard for a little bit just to mix things up. And then once you build out one copy of the shadow, then you can just switch over to the hard difficulty, go public, and just run that over and over and over. And you can open both the boxes. The issue on hard difficulty is you will have limited number of boxes. You want the special materials box for the ultrafine particle alloy, and you want the experimental materials box for the photon quantum crystal, which is the material for the Deus Ex Manus. At the end, in the container, you'll get both sets of boxes, so you can either focus on one first or the other, or a little bit on both. But I found it to be better if you build out the shadow first and then switch over to the hard void vessel. Then you can open them. Of course, if you only get 6 decryption keys, you use one of them on the container, and then you have 5 left on the next run to open the boxes. So that's why the progress will be a little slower on the materials, because you'll be opening 2 of the experimental ones, 3 of the special ones. So that is why I said focus on the normal to get the ultrafine and get enough of this so that you have at least one copy of the nanotube, the polymer syncytium, and the other thing, whatever it is. And then you can make more progress. Once you have one copy of the sword ready, you can build out the sword and slowly enhance the unique weapon when you have enough for the others. So trying to just get one copy, I think, should be the target. Now, the other correction I wanted to mention is the target reward list. So yesterday I was targeting all the parts from a single sword. You can do one item, it'll fill up the gauge much faster. So you can see I have a shadow blueprint targeted and the Deus Ex Manus blueprint targeted. This will be better, it will be easier to get the materials here. Also keep in mind we have the new event, the new sector exploration, and if you run the void vessels, let's say 10 times on hard difficulty, you'll get both these. You get one box for the Deus Ex Manus and one box for the shadow blueprint. This one doesn't have a difficulty requirement, so you could run the normal 10 times and you'll get this as well. But if you run hard difficulty, you'll get both of them. So at least you are guaranteed one part of the swords from here. This is a weekly thing, so you only get once a week. So if you are making slow progress, build out one gun, do a little bit of farming on the vessels. Next week you can get another piece and so on. Also the battle pass, I know most people don't like it, but you can also get one copy of the Deus Ex Manus at level 1, and then also the shadow at level 23. Now, as you can see here, just running the void vessel and doing missions without looking at this, I've already reached 7. I haven't bought it. I'm still on the fence because I'm not a big fan of the skins as such. Skins for 2 skins for 1,000 is not that bad if you just look at the skins themselves. However, my main concern was whether the swords are good enough in the first place for me to buy separate skins for them. So once I build out the swords and test them, then maybe I'll have a look. But the battle pass doesn't seem like it'll take too long to finish, because I've managed to get to 7 without even looking at the challenges. So yeah, you can get one copy if you wanted to save a little bit of time on the grind. And so, yeah, so that is basically what I wanted to mention. Another thing I wanted to mention is the void vessels. We'll be running them a lot. So you can do multiple things and it'll make your life easier. So with the recent addition of the terminal where you can open all your amorphous materials, I've ended up with about 270 of these crystallization catalyst blueprints. And I've been running the void vessel over and over. So I've been getting these advanced neural circuits, the blueprints, and the energy residue. So I don't have to go to White Net Gulch or the Echo Swamp to get these materials or the normal void vessel. I can just run these this hard void vessel, the second void vessel, and I'll have plenty of these. You'll get a lot of these blueprints if you have a bunch of amorphous materials saved up. And so you can also do this. You can level up your Descendants while you're doing. You can level up the gun that you're holding. Let's say you wanted to put the 60 crystallization catalyst on one of your favorite Descendants. You could do that. So various things you can do here. And finally, I wanted to mention Luna because I think Luna is the best option in terms of the hard difficulty and how easy it is to manage Luna. I've been running Luna. I've tried Glay and others. Luna is the easiest. Glay is also good, but Glay can be a little blinding with all the effects. Well, not even if you turn it off, it still has a lot of recoil and a lot of numbers flying around. So yeah, use a toxic ATEMs if you don't have one. I'll just quickly show it to you if you haven't built one. You don't need to worry about the course. Just put toxic firearm and weak point damage on the adjustment. This is the build. We want all the mods that give you firearm attack, weak point, and the element. And we have the fire rate up. And for Luna, standard concert build here. And have a quick look if you don't have one. All the pieces of the Enlightened Mage. Reactors materialized mechanics with crit damage and tech. This is the arcade tuning. I'm using cohesion. You can use the chain catalyst if you want. This was doing a good enough job as it is, so I didn't bother changing it. Also remember, currently there's a bug where these nodes are not giving you the extra 60% power, so they are going to fix that, so you get more power from these nodes. And yeah, basically that is it. Inversion reinforcement, if you want, you can have it here. So yeah, so that is the update. Target one item and try to get one copy of the shadow done by running the normal difficulty and getting enough of these ultrafine particle alloys from the special materials boxes. Once you have that, switch over to hard difficulty, take Luna, go public, and just run that as many times as you want and open both sets of boxes or focus on one if you wanted, and then slowly build out the two swords and enhance the unique ability. So yeah, so that is the update. Thank you for watching. See you next time.